You're on in 10 seconds. The lighting in your room is a mess and your AirPods won't connect. But your idea is great and you know it. But everyone on the call will miss it because everything else about the presentation and communication is off. On this episode, we'll break down the basics of effective communication and how to utilize this skill to win the EagleWorks competition. You're listening to the EagleWorks podcast. I'm your host, Michael Akins, and I direct EagleWorks. The purpose of this podcast is to educate and prepare students for the EagleWorks competition. Each week, we'll cover the important topics that you'll need to know to be successful in the competition and as an entrepreneur. On this episode, we'll dive into the basics of effective communication, from Zoom tips to verbal and nonverbal communication, and how to prepare for the 5-minute judge's question and answer session. Effective communication is key to making your idea stick, and it's not out of your wheelhouse. These are skills that can be taught, practiced, and be used in your everyday life. So let's jump right in. There's more than one obstacle in your way that could completely tank your carefully prepared presentation if you're not careful to plan ahead and be mindful of the variables inherent within virtual platforms. The best advice is to expect the unexpected and know that you can never plan too much. With that being said, it's also important to understand that while the judges will not grade you on your communication per se, effectively communicating your idea can only help your chances in the competition. Let's start with the basics of Zoom call preparation. Tip 1. Test your tech. Is your computer charged? Is Zoom downloaded on your computer? Is your microphone working? Will you use an external mic or the built-in computer mic? Did you pay your internet bill? These may seem trivial until your internet is shut off during your presentation. Always be sure to test your tech in advance of the call. Tip 2. Setting the scene. Good lighting is necessary when communicating on a virtual platform. You don't need expensive studio lighting equipment to have a good presentation. Just make sure your face is visible and you are the focus of your scene, not your cat. Where are you going to sit? Where is your computer going to be? Avoid sitting on a couch or a bed, as this can look unprofessional and position your webcam at an upward angle rather than facing forward. Keep an eye on your background. While you are the focal point of the scene, background interruptions can distract from your presentation. We suggest a neutral or plain background free of distractions. If you can't find any naturally, you can always download Zoom backgrounds online. Tip 3. Dress the part. No one is looking for a 3-piece suit on a Zoom call, but wearing a Rick and Morty t-shirt may send the wrong message to the judges. Dressing the part means being true to your brand and idea while also dressing appropriately for a business setting. For instance, if you're a nursing student pitching an idea for a new piece of medical equipment, your scrubs will fit right in. Or if you're pitching a business-to-business farming machinery lending program, it's reasonable to assume that you might be dressed like you work at a farm. Set the scene that's appropriate for the story that you want to tell. Let's move on to verbal and nonverbal communication. This will be important for your presentation as well as the 5-minute Q&A with the judges. And we'll get into all that shortly, but for now, know that being aware of what you are communicating both verbally and nonverbally can help you gauge your audience and further articulate your idea. For instance, does your tone of voice match your enthusiasm for your idea? Is your body language communicating openness and excitement, or unenthusiastic script narration? Being aware of all these variables can be the difference in effectively communicating your idea and losing your audience with monotone and ambiguous language. If you're working in a team, identify your presenting teammate early and make sure all your teammates are on the same page with their roles. As discussed in the last episode, team member diversity can be useful for this very reason. Maybe you're not a presenter, and that's okay. More than likely, one of your teammates has a skill that you don't possess. Our final topic for today will be on demystifying the 5-minute judges Q&A. Students typically tend to be nervous about this part of the EagleWorks competition. They think they have to have all the right answers to every question the judges ask. This is not the case. The goal of the Q&A section of the competition is to get you, the presenter, to think more deeply about some of the questions that may not have been asked by you and your team. This section is not a pass or fail test. It is simply the product of effective communication and action. If you don't know the answer to a judge's question, there's a few things you can do. Tip 1, be honest. If you don't know the solution, don't pretend that you do. This is a time for creative inquiry and unique problem solving to take place. The judges may prompt you with a question that hadn't crossed your mind, and that's a good thing. This is a time to demonstrate your ability to listen, learn, and receive feedback on your idea. For example, a judge may ask your team if you plan to market your product in rural areas or urban areas. You hadn't considered this, So allow yourself to be honest and approach the answer with thoughtful inquiry and curiosity. You could say something like, "We hadn't considered that aspect, but we're interested in better understanding the unique challenges of marketing in different areas." Tip 2, active listening. This tip may seem self-explanatory, but actively listening to the judge's questions can help you formulate your idea and your response. Active listening looks like allowing the judges to finish their questions before responding and allowing yourself time to critically examine what they are asking for you and your business. Consider additional information you may need before you respond. Follow-up questions are encouraged and provide a great way to nail down exactly what the judge is asking. Tip 3, be clear and to the point. Less is more here. Articulate your idea clearly and concisely. Short, clear answers will serve you and your team better than a long tangent about why you hadn't thought of that particular question. Give the judges what they need to know. They don't need to know every detail, and the more concise your answer is, the more opportunities the judges will have for more questions to better understand your product. That's about all the time we have for today, so let's reiterate what we talked about in this episode. Effective virtual communication depends on good planning and double-checking that all your tech is working before you get started. Verbal communication is as important as nonverbal communication. Body language, tone of voice, and eye contact are all different aspects to keep in mind while you're presenting. The judge's Q&A is a 5-minute long conversation to help both you and them better understand your product, business, or idea. Be an honest, active listener and ask follow-up questions if you need to. And now, mark your calendars. Here's some upcoming dates that you'll need to know. This Wednesday, February 10th, join us for the Effective Communication Virtual Workshop. Then next week, watch for more information about the Business Model Canvas Workshop. You can find the team's links on the EagleWorks website. And finally, be sure to watch Tech Times and the EagleWorks website for the latest announcements. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our handle is @TNTechEagleWorks. Thank you for listening to the second episode of the EagleWorks podcast. If you haven't already, please share it with your friends and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information like contest details, full schedule, judging rubric, and FAQs, you can always visit tntech.edu/EagleWorks. This podcast is hosted and produced by me, Michael Akins, and developed by Tennessee Tech students. This episode was written and edited by David Gorchoff, with research and instructional design by Peyton Womack. Closed captioning support for our YouTube channel is provided by Kenzie Potter. Thanks for tuning in to the EagleWorks podcast. We'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll be back next Monday with a new episode about the Business Model Canvas.